The Necrons have left the weakness of the flesh behind and can do anything they like to their bodies. They have two-legged bodies, three-legged bodies, four-legged bodies, indeed bodies that have no legs. They can have any number of appendages that they want. They are not beholden to the biological template from which they emerged. As such, it is baffling to me that some Necron leaders go with the old boring two legs, two arms setup that frankly is outdated and clearly inferior. So today we are going to narrow down and decide on the best Necron leader, not in terms of their power, but in terms of their adventurousness when it comes to their own design. In joint last place, we've got the Overlord, because he's boring, because he's got two legs, two arms, a big stick, and an orb, and that's it. That's not interesting, that's not fun. Right along with him is Imhotep the Stormlord, because although he's got a slightly fancier cloak, he's still just got two arms, two legs, and a big stick, and he has an orb implanted into the back of his hand and one on his head, but it's still just not interesting. He could be doing so much more. Here's the Stormlord. The Stormlord? He could be floating around on clouds of nanites or something, but no, just walks around like a pleb. Unacceptable. Nemesis Zarek is no better. I mean, look at the state of him. All he's got is a weirder cloak and just two legs. Again, two legs, two arms, and a big stick. It's a trend with the Necrons. They are really drawn to having a big stick and not much else going on, and frankly, that's such a waste of potential. Anrakir the Traveller, Anrakir the Slow Traveller. Vargard Oberon is no better than any of the others, exactly the same template, super boring, but he has mastered the power pose. He might not go anywhere quickly, but look how he stands. He commands, well, at least a little bit of respect. Now, the last of the two-legged idiots is Trazyn the Infinite, and he is kind of cool, but he also seems to be leaning heavily on his staff, which implies that not only has he gone for the boring and stupid setup of just two legs and two arms, his legs don't even work proper. I mean, look at the way he's standing, like an old man. How did you have old man legs when you're made of metal? Sort yourself out. Now we're moving into the big leagues. Now we're moving into Necrons that have really got the memo and started to implement their full potential. Orican the Diviner, he does have two legs, but he also has a whack-off great tail that he can kind of balance on. Like, look at that, it's supporting the weight. He is getting there. He's close. He is on the verge of enlightenment. He is so close to realizing just how much you can break free from the boring, lame, humanoid template. He's on his way there, but he's not quite there yet. The Scorpeg Lord is taking a step in the right direction. 3 steps, technically, because of 3 legs and 3 arms. This is a Necron on the verge of greatness, mere moments away from establishing what could be the best type of walkable body that they have access to. But there's already someone doing that just a little bit better. Illuminal Zeraz. Look at this absolute specimen. Look at this. He has 4 arms. 4! Complete! With 2 little laser cutter things. That's amazing. That's quality. But he's paired it with 4 legs. Look at the size of him. Look at the girth. Look at the ability to travel at speed. This is a Necron who looked at the standard template and went, that's garbage, I'm not interested in that, I'm made of metal, I can be whatever I want to be. A solid entry and I think worthy of a high spot amongst the hierarchy of the Necrons. Now, following up from that, we have just your standard Cryptek. Now, you might think to yourself, why is this above Zeraz? Well, this is above Zeraz because although they have stuck mostly with the standard template, they have vastly improved upon it by attaching a bunch of extra stuff to them. They don't just walk, they fly. They're on a floating, flying platform that itself has a bunch of extra legs. Overall, this is a genius idea. Could be better, it could be better. There's still a way to go, but this is a great start. There's a level of inventiveness when it comes to traversal that Zeraz hasn't quite got with the 4-leg setup. This is a lad who can fly and scuttle, and that's worth extra points. Now it's time to bring out the big guns. This is the Silent King, and you know what? The Silent King is quite the machine, but you'll note that there is an issue with the Silent King. Yes, his throne floats. It floats and it's got 2 giant weapon shield things with it, and it's got the soul of a Satan shard that is just trapped in it, which is quite the power move. But at the same time, the lad himself, very standard design. Very standard, not even that fancy. Not even that fancy. Yes, he has a very long cloak, but if anything, that is just a hindrance. And I mean, look how far down that cloak goes. If he steps down those bottom steps, that's going to catch on the floor, the throne's going to keep floating, he's going to get pulled off, land on the ground, and he's going to look like an idiot. Now, Zarek was close to getting it right, The Silent King was on the verge of getting it perfect, but he had to give himself legs, and as such, he doesn't have anything on the Plasmancer. The Plasmancer has gone for a completely floating body with a single tentacle coming out of it, and that is the future. That is the key. That is what all Necrons should be. None of this walking nonsense. They should be floating around, able to go anywhere they like, drifting over rivers, oceans, lava, you name it, they can get across it because they have evolved beyond the need for legs themselves. Absolutely sterling work off the Plasmancer there. The thing is, the Plasmancer has only got partially the right idea, not taken it far enough. That's where the Psychomancer comes in, because the Psychomancer has gone one step further. 2 horrific tentacle legs. Now this is quite possibly a controversial entry this high up in the list, because it could be argued that the tentacles are being used to slither around, but I don't necessarily think that's the case. If you look at his body, that to me suggests that there is a little bit of full-on floating action going on there that is not due to just being braced by the long wrigglies. Also, the tentacles can form the face of a pixelated skull, and frankly that's an ingenious way to scare off predators. A worthy second place for the Psychomancer. But the question is, who's going to come in first? What is the best Necron form? Who is the best leader for this ancient race? The number 1 slot has to be the Chronomancer. The Chronomancer can do whatever he likes. He floats, he's got multiple tentacles. The tentacles can act as legs or as arms, or they can probably just flail about nicely as he drifts across the battlefield. Not only has he broken free of the trap of requiring legs, he's also created things that could be legs or could act as arms. He's multi-purposing this shit, and that is genius. There is a commitment there that even Illuminor Xerath doesn't seem to want to make. There is a commitment to being versatile, to being capable in any field, in any battle, in any setting. This is the perfect form, and I will take no further questions at this time. These stupid videos are getting worse, which is kind of impressive and also worrying, if we're being honest.